So on my back here is a backpack that for a very, very long time I said I would never ever use for some pretty specific reasons. But this is the Hyperlite Mountain Gear Southwest 55-liter backpack, and we're going to talk about it. So I've just got home from my trip and I'm about to unpack everything, get it cleaned up and such, but I first want to talk about my experience with the Southwest 55 from Hyperlite Mountain Gear, because I'm actually surprised at how much I enjoyed this pack. Now, for a very long time, I looked at this pack as it's not the pack for me. It is a through hiking pack. It is more ultralight than I want. It's more simple and stripped down than I want out of a pack. And it doesn't have some of the features that I've always looked at as a necessity for me to have the best experience possible in carrying a pack out on the trail. And I do have to say, I've been surprised at how much I've enjoyed this, with a few caveats. There are still some things that I don't necessarily like about this pack, and they're kind of nitpicky, but that's part of sharing my experience compared to some of the other options that I have to use out on the trail. But this is a large pack. It's 55 liters, and I think that I could have easily gotten away with the smaller size, like a 40 liter, to still do my 3-season backpacking. And I may at some point invest into the 40 liter and see how it compares to this. Now, this pack is made from a Dyneema material. It is very simplistic in its design. It has 3 big pockets on the outside, big pocket for the main body, and then you have hip belt pockets. And that's pretty much it. But this does pack a little bit differently than pretty much any other pack I've used. I've never had a pack where you are rolling down and buckling the sides down and compressing that way. So that was a new experience for me. But let's first talk about the main thing that I always looked at with this pack as this isn't the one for me. And that is what is on the back panel with the shoulder straps, the hip belt and such. And it's first around the suspension system. This looks like not a lot of padding and not going to be very supportive and very enjoyable to carry. And I gotta say, I did experience some pressure down on my shoulders because this pack does not have load lifters. Now, if Hyperlite would increase the length of the frame to be a little bit taller so that you could have some load lifters, I think it would enhance the performance of this pack and its ability to carry more weight a lot better. Now, I had roughly about 30 pounds of gear, food and water total in this for my trip, and I feel like 30 pounds was the maximum weight carry capacity for the pack to be comfortable. 35 pounds would be pushing it, and I just think that because you don't have as tall of a frame system in this, and you don't have load lifters to help distribute that weight and kind of move it down onto the hips, it just isn't as comfortable as I think it could be with some slight tweaks, but obviously that would add weight and more things to fuss with. And maybe that's not what people are looking for when they're looking to buy a pack like this. The hip belt was also a little less supportive than I would typically like out of a belt. It's pretty thin in the cushioning, and the ribbon or just the binding around the bottom of the belt does dig into your hips a little bit. So if you've got a belt on or just kind of a bit more fabric and such, the opportunity for some hip hickeys or that hip bruising, I think, is a little bit higher. But the hip belt pockets are really good sized. I was able to put everything in there that I need, and having them sewn in on both sides, I like that. It's really, really nice. Now, the other really nitpicky thing that I feel like kind of cheapens the pack a little bit is the fact that they're using a soft grosgrain material, which is a strong material, but it feels kind of cheap to use a grosgrain for your carry handle and then also your compression straps on the side of the pack. But aside from those things, besides the size of the frame and the way that the padding is for the shoulder straps and such, this pack is actually really cool. It packs very well, and it doesn't feel like you have this huge bag on your back. It just is compressed nice and narrow against the sides. It doesn't protrude out super far. And the only thing that is a little strange on it is just how large the collar is. This thing rolls up so incredibly tall that it feels pretty excessive. Now, I can understand if you are carrying a bear canister or that kind of thing, but it's like, here we go. This is with all of my gear and everything. I haven't even unloaded from the car. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rolls on the collar. Now, I think 4 to 6 rolls might be a little bit better, but it's like, it's enormous. It's, I don't know. It seems excessive, but it's obviously, it's not a deal breaker, whatever. And it also just allows for you to obviously carry more gear being a larger pack. But then I would be concerned about overloading it. But from the concept or the idea of carrying what I would normally carry for a 3-season backpacking gear loadout, which is going to be 25 to max of 30 pounds, I think it's a fantastic pack. It is built well. It is strong and durable. This thing took a beating in the desert, bushwhacking. It's got plenty of pocket size, the Dyneema pocket here, or this like Robic kind of ripstop material. It's awesome. Like this thing, I am just genuinely surprised at how much I enjoyed it despite those little things that I would have written it off not being an option for me in the past. And I actually did do that, but I like it. That's my experience, initial experience, and just some of the like thoughts and feelings of using it so far. We'll get more time with it and then share a full review at that point. But have you used this pack? And if so, let me know what your experience has been like with it and what you do and don't like about it. Thanks for watching today, guys. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. And the full trip video of this trip is coming soon, so watch for that. But we'll catch you on the next one. See you later.